If you want to get into a relationship, you need to do this one thing. You really need to love yourself first before you even get into a relationship. Look, I know the idea has been beaten down, everybody has spoken about it, and it's pretty much the most important tool you can ever have before you can even get into a relationship. Valentine's Day just passed, and I guess I reminisced on a former relationship of mine. Going back to my earlier days, I remembered I wasn't very self-loved. I didn't really love myself. Finding validation from others doesn't really give you that satisfaction than loving yourself. Because when shit goes wrong, you feel an immense void inside your soul. You feel like you've lost a part of yourself, or you've lost yourself entirely. I'd advise you to love yourself. And I know that concept from someone who didn't love himself once upon a time. If someone told me that advice, what do you mean love yourself? It doesn't just have to mean self-pleasure or anything like that. It just means being secure with who you are and being okay with who you are, loving yourself, essentially, respecting yourself. Essentially, it's like having a relationship with another person, but instead of that, with yourself, if that makes sense. So, obviously, I spent some time reminiscing, and I was thinking about how I used to be before. Whenever I'd break up with my partner, I would be those dudes who would listen to Marvin's Room, like the hardcore, like sad boy Drake type songs, Marvin's Room, maybe even some Joji, and just literally wallow in tears that I've lost somebody. But the thing about relationships is that it's fickle. Obviously, there are those relationships, I believe, that are meant to be. No matter what type of trials and tribulations you go through, you guys are just bound to be together. Soulmates, if you will. But in most cases, relationships, they come and they go. So I know that the first signs that I used to exhibit whenever I end up in a heartbreak, I would be hella depressed. I would feel like my whole world is crumbled. I would literally go through the 5 phases of grief, but I'd stay stuck in literally the phase of finding a way to make it work, Oh, is there anything I can do? I'm sorry. I wish I was a better person. I can change. Pleading. This was back in 2010, 2011, 12, 13, those 4 years high school. Pleading, Obviously, the older I grew, and obviously getting into more and more relationships, I've seen that in other people, and from another person's perspective, I don't want to sound insensitive, but it's not a good thing to have a partner who you have to build up, a partner who you have to reassure consistently, like, no, I'm not cheating on you, it's okay, On one hand, I will agree that you have to, it is one of the 5, love languages, assurance, and, as hypocritical as that is, I am someone who loves assurance, but not to that extent. Like, I don't want someone to consistently, like, sort of milk me, if that makes sense. Like, no, you're this, you're that. You're handsome, you're all that. And that takes me back to the first point. If you have self-love, you assure with yourself. You know that you're handsome. You know that you have the qualities. You are worthy of being in this relationship. I didn't feel that way back in the day. And I know that there's people who don't feel that way either. I dealt with a girl last year, and she literally said that she's not worthy of dating me. What do you mean? Like, it doesn't matter. She said I was too attractive for her, and I'm like, I'm just a regular dude, really. In fact, if she knew my whole story, I didn't even think I was the most attractive guy like in the room compared to other people I've seen. So you can see I definitely had some work that needed to be done. I was insecure. I was not sure of myself. I too was that person saying that to my girlfriend, like, I don't deserve you. You're so beautiful. Showering her with gifts and everything that I possibly can. A relationship is a two-way street. I give my half, you give your half. I've also heard in some instances they say that relationships should just be like an addition to your life, not your whole life. Be yourself. Have things going for yourself. Make sure that you have a life. The relationship should literally just be like the icing on the cake. And that's why you see so many people hooking up and literally treating people like objects, because they have their life, but they just get whoever ditched them the next day. Don't do it like that, but obviously if you have feelings for the person, make sure you love the person, make sure you're there for the person. Make sure you know how to love yourself, and the way you love yourself is how you will love others. The way you treat yourself is how you will treat others. Treat those the way you would like to be treated. It's saddening. It's saddening. I didn't know what to say with people like that. In fact, I won't lie, it kind of turned me off a little bit when somebody was like that, someone who wasn't in love with themselves, because there gets to a point where you have to, when you have to over assure somebody, it really gets frustrating. Where you have to like tell them, no, I'm just out with the boys, it's nothing serious. Literally. There's a video that I have coming out soon about me being a serial cheater, and I've caused stress and panic in people that they've turned into people like that. I'm not perfect. I'm really not perfect, but I implore people to take time to heal on their own. If you know that you're being abused in a relationship, or you know that this person's really taking advantage of you, leave. Don't hold on. That's also a sign of self-love. When you know something isn't right, even though you've tried so many times to make it work, leave. Self-love is super important. I wouldn't want you to be on the other end, because I've been on the other end. I know what it feels like to not have love and literally need that reassurance every single day from your partner. And when shit goes wrong in my life, even when something goes wrong, something slightly goes wrong, maybe a shift of energy, and you can feel like, oh, my partner's not doing well, and you have to overcompensate. Relationships, to someone who might not understand, is quite a lot of work. But at the end of the day, it's just literally just treating people, understanding people, knowing what to do when someone is in a specific mood. Self-love is important. And communication. Learning to listen to your partner. That's all it is. I hope you guys had like a great Valentine's Day, if you guys had a Valentine's Day, And if you didn't, you still got yourself, Show yourself some love. Make sure you're there for yourself. That is, I guess, a practical example, So, I didn't want to make the video too long. It's just something that I had in mind throughout the night, and I was just thinking about that. I've broken a lot of relationships because of that, because of the lack of self-love, or because I didn't trust myself that much. But remember to take some time to love yourself, because at the end of the day, you're all you have. Appreciate yourself. Love yourself. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.